As we end Masechtas Chulin and start Masechtas Bchoros, we are sponsored once again by the Fisher family. Lili Nishmas Basia Bas Rabbi Shlomo Ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, and Neshama Shirav and Aliyah. We're also sponsored Lili Nishmas David Ben Chaim, L'Refuah Shalema for Yomis Ben Chayesar, Yaakov Ben Basia Leah, for the schus of Avram Ben Yom Ben Ish Ben Malki Yudis and family, by Yol Klugman and family, and L'Refuah Shalema for Moshe Meir Ben Estefadel Bas Chana, Dvor Bas Shashabina, Chana Bas Shashabina, Chayesar Bas Shashabina, Rivka Bas Shiraleya, Avigdor Aya Ben Rivka, Hinda Bas Chayesara, Yitzhak Ben Siyam Ben Dusha, Aaron Ben Sarah, Nachman Yaakov Ben Sarah, and Meir Ben Chayesara. They should have Refuah Shalema B'Seich Shachar Yisrael. So the last Mishna in Chulin tells us that even though you might need a bird for the ritual purification of Metzora, but lo yital adam aim al abanim, you can't take the mother away from over its children, afilu l'tar esa Metzora, even for the ritual purification of the leper. Now, the Torah says that when one does the mitzvah shluach hakan, he'll be zeicha to goodness and arichas yamim. So it says more in mitzvah kala, madach and mitzvah kala, an easy mitzvah. Shehi ke'isr, it only costs an isr. In other words, the bird that you're sending away is only worth an isr. Amrit Torah l'man yitav lach v'arachta yamim, it will be good for you, and you'll have long life. Kal v'chaymer al mitzvahs chamur sheb'Torah. If you do a hard mitzvah, if you do a mitzvah like kibbud of aim, which might be challenging, you're a good husband, which might be challenging, you're learn a difficult piece of Gemara, then for sure there'll be goodness and long life in Olam Shekulei Toiv, in the world that is all good, and the Olam Shekulei Arach, in the world that is very long, in other words, for all eternity. Hadron Alach Masechtas Chulin, Hadron Alach Masechtas Chulin, Hadron Alach Masechtas Chulin. And now, the next Masechta is a challenging Masechta. To learn Masechtas Bchoros. Now, the Masechtas Bchoros starts off with the din of Peter Chamor. The din is that if a donkey gives birth to a firstborn, either you have to redeem it with a sheep, or if not, you have to break its neck. So, but it only applies if the donkey is owned exclusively by a yid. Halakeach uber chamoire shel nachri. If you buy the fetus of a guy, so it belonged to a guy, v'ameicheloi, or if you sell it to a guy. Now, you're not really supposed to sell an animal to a guy, because we're afraid that if you sell it, you might come to rent it, and then the guy will be working with it on Shabbos, even though you're the owner, which is forbidden. But hamoicheloi, if you did sell it to him, afal pisha ein rasha, even though that's not allowed, or the mishtatifloi, or if you have a partnership with him in a donkey, v'amekabel mimenu, or you accepted a donkey from him to rear and to break it in, and you agreed to split its offspring. So, or or you give him an animal to break in, and you agree to split the offspring, so it's going to be owned by a yid and a guy. Pater min ha-bechor. In all these cases, it's pater from a bechor. Shenemar, because it's only b'Yisrael. It's only if it's exclusively owned by a yid. Avalei b'acherim. It's not if it's shared with a guy. Kahanim u'Leviim Peturim, a Kayan and a Levi is also pater from redeeming the Bechar, Mikal v'chaymer. You see, in the Midbar, in the desert, initially, the firstborns were the ones that had the Kedusha. And they sinned with the Egel Azav, and Hashem redeemed the firstborns with the Kahanim. And the Kahanim are therefore exempt from the mitzvah of Pidyon Haben, of redeeming their own children. So im Patru Shel Yisrael Bamidbar, if the Kahanim exempted the Yisrael in the Midbar, they freed them of their obligation. Dinu Sheyiftaru Shel Atzman, they surely exempt themselves, and they're not chayiv to give a pidyon for their children and for a firstborn donkey, which we learn out from the halacha of Pidyon Haben. We want to thank you very much for joining us this evening for a triple crown of learning, the Gemara, the Shabbos table, and the Mishnayos, and have a wonderful Shabbos.